This is a scam. I couldn't help blurting that out the moment I bought the ticket on my phone screen. The app showed that only a few first class and second class seats were left, or sometimes the unfortunate words "sold out" would appear on the screen. I stood on the platform, but the moment the doors opened with a rush of wind, a train appeared before me. Yet all that remained was empty space. Look there, the train had already passed Suzhou and was heading toward the big city. The train was bound for Changzhou. Normally it would be packed with passengers and luggage, making it difficult even to stand. However, even though I kept filming, no one appeared in the frame. This was not a staged production. This was the original recording, completely unedited. It felt as if I were the only person there. Oh, the silence was so deep that it seemed as though we were alone inside that enormous mass of steel. Where had the terrifying moment of mass migration that once shocked the world gone? A deserted town, a railway station like a ghost town, and a high-speed train carrying ghosts. It felt like a scene from a dystopian science fiction film. Yet this was the frightening reality of China, the world's second largest economy in 2026. Wait, was there really no one left? Had everyone been abducted? The answer is simple and cruel. High-speed rail ticket prices change depending on the number of passengers, and sudden price surges are not uncommon. A ticket can cost 2,400 yuan. Even 800 yuan is an unbearable barrier for many people. The reason is simple. Around 900 million people live on less than 2,000 yuan per month. Only 800 yuan represents half a month of food, rent, and living expenses for them. Luxury travel does not exist in their dictionary. They did not disappear on their own. The country's proud high-speed rail system left them with no other choice. They moved elsewhere. That place was an old local train known in China as the Green Train. It is a strange relic from the 1990s, like an iron coffin that should have been placed in a museum. There is only one reason it still exists. It is cheap. The high-speed train from Beijing to Shanghai takes 4.5 hours and costs 553 yuan. In contrast, the Green Train takes as long as 19 hours, but the fare is only about 156 yuan. That difference of nearly 400 yuan may seem small to some people, but for many it represents several days of survival. For them, that money is worth trading comfort and dignity to save. It was now 3:40 in the morning. Looking inside the carriage at midnight, when it should have been quiet, I saw a sea of black heads. The scene was chaotic. Even after decades, people still developed habits of crowding in front of the toilets, blocking other people's seats and filling the aisles. People were packed together like cargo, leaving almost no space between them. One passenger posted a desperate message on social media. "A few days ago, I bought a Green Train ticket to save money. But the moment I got on, I regretted it. I felt like a blade of grass trapped between two giant rocks. I couldn't move a muscle and could barely breathe. I survived only because I got off after a few stops. If I had stayed until the final station, I might have been crushed to death." Now, going to the toilet was almost impossible. People were drinking alcohol everywhere. I endured more than 10 hours, even in the cold. Now I am trapped in this green hell. Even the tickets were sold beyond capacity. The situation wounded people's dignity and ignited anger. A young father sat directly on the floor, holding his small child every 1 or 2 hours. The baby was hurriedly fed and had its diaper changed while nearly being stepped on by adults around them. Unable to contain himself, the father spoke loudly to the camera, directly addressing the leaders of the railway system. "Leaders of the railway industry, don't just stand there watching. Come and see this with your own eyes. This is the result of building high-speed rail for political achievements while reducing the number of regular trains that ordinary people rely on. Is this how you treat the people? Don't you feel ashamed? Why can't ticket prices be lowered to a level ordinary people can afford?" This anger is not merely emotional. It has deep social roots. Wang He, a China affairs expert, told overseas media that in the past there were many more local trains. But after the rapid expansion of high-speed rail, many of those routes were deliberately cut. Cheap trains were systematically reduced to maintain the appearance of success for high-speed rail projects. Even basic transportation is gradually being taken away from ordinary people. He described the situation vividly. In the past, many trains traveled from various provinces to Beijing. Now there may be only one slow train a day. The system is cleverly designed so that people have no choice but to use expensive, high-speed trains. If you search for train tickets, the slow Z-series trains disappear from the results, leaving only the costly G-series high-speed trains. Yet on one side, high-speed trains run with empty seats. On the other, ordinary trains are packed like hell. This is not coincidence. It is policy. A modern class system has quietly formed, yet even those who can travel are considered lucky. This year, many towns are filled with people who cannot go home because they simply have no money. The bursting of the real estate bubble and the sharp drop in export orders forced many factories to shut down early. Workers were laid off without waiting for the end of their contracts. Traveling home for the new year requires buying gifts in red envelopes for relatives and children. These expenses can range from several thousand to tens of thousands of yuan. An unbearable burden for workers who barely earned anything this year. The situation feels hopeless. Yet a viral video showed a man calling his mother from a dark corner of a restaurant. "Mom, I won't come home this year. I didn't make much money." Tears kept streaming down his face. His mother was waiting for him at home. He kept repeating that everything was fine, but the moment he hung up, he broke down crying like a child. Many people expressed deep sympathy. There is nothing worse than facing the new year without money and with failed work. He had nothing left. He did not dare face his parents, his wife, or his children. Some people chose another path, returning to work immediately instead of going home. Experts estimate that by 2026, around 3 million people will make such decisions. They travel from coastal regions to distant provinces like Guangxi or heavy industrial zones thousands of kilometers away. One couple prepared for a 2,450-kilometer journey from Changzhou to Suzhou. "I traveled this desperate road on a small bicycle," one person said. Another video posted on the Chinese version of TikTok received 470,000 likes and over 100,000 comments in just 3 days. A factory worker described riding a motorcycle for 900 kilometers over 3 days. His bike was loaded with odd belongings and a bag containing 20 steamed buns. "I ate them in the cold wind along the road," he said. "They didn't cost me a single extra yuan." They avoid riding during heavy rain or fog because they do not want to die. With frozen hands gripping the handlebars in the wind, it becomes a matter of survival. Meanwhile, even the middle class who can afford cars face enormous difficulties. Officials claim that 9 billion trips were made this year. It was 7.2 billion by private vehicles. But reality looks far harsher. Recently, the hashtag traffic congestion regulations began trending online. Because of construction near the Ministry of Transport, several lanes were reduced to one in each direction. Drone footage showed horrific traffic jams stretching for dozens of kilometers. A sea of cars extended to the horizon. One driver posted on social media that when he left on January 25th, he believed people were still stuck there. The drivers trapped in the traffic had no time to laugh. Their endless lines of vehicles stood motionless, a symbol of economic stagnation. Young people are also confronting this harsh reality. One young graduate dreamed of earning money in a big city, so before finishing school, he worked part-time as a quality inspector in a factory. But piece rate wages were brutal. Some days he earned almost nothing. In the end, he swallowed his pride and chose the slow, cheap green train. Holding the ticket in his hand, he squeezed into a carriage packed with people. The newest high-speed trains glided smoothly, almost empty, while the old green trains rattled forward like wounded machines, stripping people of dignity. Highways became enormous parking lots filled with immobile vehicles. Motorcycles loaded with belongings rushed through the wind. The government continues to promise common prosperity, world-class technology, and sustained economic growth. But behind those shining slogans, 900 million ordinary citizens are still struggling to save every yuan. I sat comfortably on an empty first-class stone bench, drinking milk and trying to maintain a sense of dignity. No matter how advanced technology becomes, if its benefits never reach the people, it becomes the greatest paradox of the labor market. This brutal contrast is the shadow hidden behind the facade of progress. It may be the darkest truth of modern China.